Welcome to the Betting Dog's Edge, Fighting Football, Vegas Insiders. I'm your MMA analyst, J-Dog.
And I'm the NFL analyst, Corey Dog. Welcome to our first video, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to recap our recent best fights and NFL plays of the week and upcoming football for the rest of the year. And just jump into it.
All right, let's get right into this. All right, so just looking at some UFC here. A social media page that we have here with our UFC fights bets that we have. Let me show you some bets that we had on here. Just the type of bets that we actually get into with parlays and prop bets and spreads and money lines and everything else that you all need to know about betting, right? So going into this one, we did a round robin bet. I'm sorry, this is a cycle parlay. So this first one is a cycle parlay. Cycle parlays are basically 3-leg parlay. You do a KO, you do a submission, and you do a decision on there. So that's what we did on this one. And I used the squares on all these bets, the favorites on all these fights, the WUFC MMA fights. So Teresa Bleda for decision, Luis Santos for sub, and for Jillian Roberts KO, right? That's the cycle parlay. Gives it a plus 8,000 to win on that. 8,000, right? So that's only I had to put a little bit of cash on there to make a little bit of money, right? And unfortunately, didn't work. You know, Jillian didn't even fight. Los Santos won, and Bleda did not win. So it was a long shot, right? Logical long shot bet with all of your squares, but didn't hit. So we'll move on to the next one. Next one is a round robin. This is a Trixie round robin that we did with the underdogs on the WMMA, and I had more research on this. I thought this was going to pop even more than the cycle parlay, obviously. So obviously it has a lower odd on there, a plus 595, but I only need 2 out of the 4 bets in a round robin Trixie to hit to make $600, $700 on 100. So it was a good little bet on, $25 a bet for 4 bets makes $100. So good little bet, right? Didn't hit, unfortunately. So move on to the next one. This was another 3-leg one that I bid. It was a big bet though, based on plus 1,000 straight money line bets. And, of course, Lemos didn't even fight. Croden lost on that one, which we'll talk about this. I'm getting a little pissed off of the referee on that, but we'll get into that. And, of course, Horth won it as I thought she would. So good little type of bets that we did on this one. This one was a straight square bet. 6-leg parlay, $10, very, very small bet. Jillian didn't fight, and Kennedy was a draw. So I was actually got paid on only 4 legs of it, which dramatically dropped down my pay on that. But we did win on that one, you know what I mean? But it did drop it down. This was the long shot bets on the second to the last fight on the main card, Vallejos against Chikadze. Doesn't matter who submits, just whoever submits, it's plus 2,000. So logical long shots. But, of course, Vallejos won by knockout. Giga's first knockout on that one. So, it was a logical bet. Giga never got knocked out in his whole career, and he's 38 years old. So it was a long shot for him to get knocked out. Yeah. But, yeah, he got knocked out. So, happens. So that's that one. And then we move on to this one. This was just a crazy bonus bet. Lemos didn't even fight. Buchecha draw. Giga got knocked out. So that was obviously a loser, but it was a bonus bet. Another bonus bet I had, Croden didn't lost, Buchecha draw, Royval lost. This bonus bet hit, but of course Brito had to change fighters, so again, it affected the odds. It went from plus 258, I think, down to like plus 1 something.
That was a good fight, though.
It was a good fight, but it was a different fighter, right? Yeah. That he won on. Yeah. So if I would have been able to bet on this, but I was not able to rebet on this on the void line. So, but instead, I still won on that card. On that bet on that one. So these are just the type of bets that we're doing. That's why I'm showing this in this respect. So we're getting into the MMA fights of the WMMA and UFC 112, right? So as you can see, Bleda here in Horth was the first one on the card and the first WMMA. And of course, I picked this one right. Horth is a lot bigger than Bleda, and Bleda was out for 2 years for some sort of staph infection. Yeah. It was a kind of a no-win. I kind of figured that was a shoe-in win, and sure enough, she knocked her out.
She telegraphed.
Yeah, so and then this one, we had Croden to win on this one, and Santos won. How did Santos win? Smotherfucking. She just rode her on the ground, and she didn't even do anything. She didn't try to advance her position. She didn't try to finish her. She didn't try to submit. She didn't try to do anything. but do those little, knock, knock, knocks.
I
You know
gave
what
her
I
a
mean?
noogie, man.
Those little noogie stops.
mean,
So even on this, you can tell on this she's all red. Blade is red, and Horvath is like untouched. And then you go over here, and Croden's untouched, and she's getting kind of sauced up here a little bit all around. And then you go look here, and this is how the fight went. Literally riding her on the ground in a chokehold, giving her these little punches in the eye, little noogies, little head noogies. Remember noogies? This is exactly what a noogie looked like when I was a kid. You know what I mean? You're trying to get out of getting your head rubbed in and burned. You know what I mean? You guys don't know what a noogie is. You get somebody in a headlock and you rub their head like that until their head starts warming up and burning, and they hate it. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things when you did with the
parents
kids.
don't come to us about your kids doing that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'll noogie you. You know what I mean? So it was just one of those fights, you know what I mean, where Croden was just beating her up, you know what I mean, and she gassed out in the third round, and she just rode her, you know what I mean. That's pretty much it. Now, with that writing, right, you would think the referees would stand that crap up, let them stop smothering, you know what I mean. You're not doing anything, you're not advancing, you're just laying on the person. Well, unfortunately, Carrie Hatley was the referee on this one. Carrie Hatley is not really an A referee. He doesn't do pay-per-views or big main fights. He usually just does fight nights. He's a karate guy, and karate's a lot of grappling and gi holds and submissions and a lot of holding, right?
Yeah.
So he is very biased of the submission game. You know what I mean? With Santos. So if I would have known Carrie Hatley was going to be the referee and he was that type of guy, I probably would have put more spit on Santos to win this. Yeah, because submissions, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If that was the way it was going to go in that fight with Hatley, and I knew that Hatley was more biased with the, grappling and submissions and just laying on somebody for 15 minutes and not doing anything, I probably would have picked Santos on there because Croden doesn't have a lot of experience on the ground. And it showed, but she's a bigger fighter. She's knockout, and just let somebody submit, lay on you like that, you're going to lose every time, right? Yeah. So Midlander, Carrie Hatley, he's from Midlander, Texas. He has a karate dojo. So, he's big on karate and grappling, and I guess that kind of makes sense. These are all the referees that are actually ongoing right now. Herb Dean, Mark Goddard, blah, 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 and Carrie Hatley's kind of one of the last ones on the list here. He's not really he's an F referee or more of a C referee when it comes to stuff, but that's my opinion on it. Now I have more of an edge when it comes to fighting. I will be actually putting these more spit on who's refereeing the fight. And you can't find out who's refereeing the fight until the week of the fight. They do not tell you who's refereeing until the week of, and maybe even a couple days before. So I will be keeping an eye on that stuff and making sure everybody knows. So you can see that there's a list of referees. They do A referees, Mark Goddard and Jason Herzog. You know what I mean? And you have your B referees and A minus referees and all different kinds. So they do rank referees. So it does make sense to consider the referees. There's 3 people in that ring, 2 people fighting, 1 person controlling it. So you makes sense to know where that guy's coming from, who's controlling, things going on. So, but that's what's everything going on, most of the part. Now, with Hatley, Dean's list, right? Well, Dean knows a lot of referees. I say get rid of Hatley and call one of these guys real quick. Call him real quick because Hatley has got to go. It's unfortunate, but that's my own opinion. So, anyways, moving forward into everything else, Lemos didn't win, and we'll go right into the football game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had a 4-leg parlay here. Excuse me. And the Panthers didn't get it for us, ladies and gentlemen. It was a high risk, high reward game, low risk, high reward game, but a payout. But Panthers dropped us on that one.
Yeah, it was a high risk, high reward.
High risk,
based on the legs. Yeah. That one leg was the high risk, high reward. That Panthers. So yes, yeah. Moving forward, we're looking at our player prop bet. Again, Stephon, we hit everybody else but Stephon Diggs. That last
one.
I
mean, he can't throw the ball to himself.
Barely, though. You barely missed that one. Man, that was a good one. I'll tell you, man. You did some good ones this week, man. You can't control what's going on, but that was good.
That was a good one. I liked it against his old team. And then,
hold on, what's going on? This one. There we go.
Then this is a little fun money bet. Anytime touchdown, George Pickens, he was due, but You know, again, he can't throw the ball to himself, but it's at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's a good little fun bet.
Good little fun bet. Then, you know, I got my dog pick. We got the Ravens money line, Chicago Bears money line, and the Carolina Panthers. Again, they got us again on that one.
Yeah, this top one.
This top one, and then I got my dog pick on FanDuel. That wasn't this game wasn't a dog on anybody else but FanDuel, so I went with FanDuel. You're playing the Steelers in Miami without their best defensive player, T.J. Watt.
Yeah, earlier in the week,
Yeah,
they were not showing as it was showing as the favor, as the square, not the sharp.
Yeah,
and now it's the sharp bet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So good look, good looking out, man, on that one.
Hey, man, I was doing small work.
Right. I think that's it on that one, right?
Yeah, that's it on. Hold on, I got one more. Ashley is another $8 anytime touchdowns for Mark Andrews.
Yeah. That was in
I think we posted that on Insta.
Yeah, that's in our X here.
Let's see. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, but I got the anytime touchdown for Mark Andrews, Kareem Hunt, and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, small parlay.
A small one, $8.
I mean, that's what parlays are, though. The epitome of a parlay is high risk, high reward, and usually legs. You get legs on there, you get more high risk, high reward on everything. So, yeah, man, that's all right.
Then we're coming into week 16 this week. We got some key matchups that you want to keep an eye out with. We got the Rams versus the Seahawks and Seattle. The Rams are without Devontae Adams, torn ACL. We're going to have to look into that to see a little bit more on how that's going to affect the game this week. Then I'm looking at this Packers next Saturday. The Packers versus the Bears. This is another divisional game. This is important for ranking for the playoffs. The Bears have been on a nice little stretch this week, and we'll look into that one to see about giving you an edge on that pick as well. Then we're moving down south. We're going down here to Buccaneers and the Panthers and Carolina. This is another divisional. We're going to dive into that one to try to find an edge for you for the Panthers. They did lose this week to the Saints, but the Panthers have been on a one as well. And that's going to be my looks for my deep dives for week 16 right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice. Well, looking good, man. I mean, that's our first video.
Yeah, that's our first.
Yeah, we're doing things good.
You know.
So,
drop a comment.
Hype it up.
That's
the new thing, right? Comment.
Comments.
We hate haters. Let us know what we're doing wrong or doing right, or what you like or what you don't like. Any questions about our betting? Anything about Vegas that you want to know? Yeah. Let us know. You know what I mean? Because we tend to try to bet on everything we can because we are pretty darn close to Arizona. Yeah. That's kind of the main thing, too, is that we are close to Arizona. We can actually drive over to Arizona, go through the Hoover Dam, and start betting. You know, FanDuel, DraftKings, all that stuff is all in our fingertips, too, because, unfortunately, Nevada has rules and other states don't. So, you know, but just letting you guys know, you know, we do have that edge on that, too, that we can actually – we look at these money lines and fight things that we're able to look at, and then we can actually move forward from there. So, but yeah, that's everything. Like, subscribe, hit the comments, hype it up, and
see you on the next one.